Hey guys, JamiyJamie. Today on Roblox we are playing some more Project Pokemon, as you can see on screen right now, and today I'm going to be doing a guide on the easiest way to beat the new boss entity without Legendaries. Now, Legendaries are going to be the best way to beat it, however, not everyone can get Legendaries without spending a lot of Robux or a lot of time searching for them. So I'm going to be doing a guide on Pokemon that you can get very easily that aren't legendary. So then, with that being said, let's go into the actual entity, because actually it's got an update and a few buffs. So I did a video on this already when I beat it with Gyarados and Lucario only. They actually got a buff to its speed, which now is 384, which outspeeds Darkrai but not Mewtwo. Repair now heals status effects and 80% of health. So that means if you paralyze it and it uses repair, paralyze is going to be gone. However, paralyze is pretty much key to beating it. So you still need a Pokemon with Thunder Wave, but I'll get into that, showing you which Pokemon is going to be the best. And with that being said, I believe the typing used to be Fire Steel type with Levitate. So that means it would only be weak to a very few things. I believe it was weak to fighting and water. Now it has been updated to Steel Fairy type with Levitate, which means it's only weak to Fire type, which is a pretty strong. But yeah, anyway, let's get on to the guides. Okay then, to start the guide off, we are going to need only 3 Pokemon, believe it or not, that aren't legendary to beat the Aegis. Now then, the first Pokemon that we are going to want is a Electrode. You can find a Voltorb in Lavender City, which I am in right now, and as you can see, Route 10 is right here. All you have to do is ruin this grass and you can find a Voltorb. So that is the first Pokemon that you are going to want. Okay lads, so now the next step after you have caught your Voltorb is to find a Litwick, and specifically you need 2 of them. So then make your way over to Mausoleum of Origins and go inside of the temple on top of the hill, and then just find the closest grass patch and just find 2 and catch them, and you'll be done. Okay, on to the next step. After you have caught your 2 Litwicks, make sure to go and get them from the PC. I didn't think I put in the last part, but I'll put it on screen just to make sure that you did it correctly, because as soon as you caught them, you had to put them in your PC just so you don't get any random EVs onto it. But once you have caught the 2 Litwicks, make sure to go put them in your party now, along with the Voltorb, and then you want to make your way to Saffron City and go towards the bot's location. Once you're here, make sure to talk to the guy in front of the machine, make sure your XP share is on, and type in ISO_speed, as you can see. Now battle this guy 14 times and beat him with the XP share on, and that'll EV train you fully in speed to make sure you know you've finished EV training speed. Just in case you miscounted, you might have only done 12. You can go to Elegant Valley, you can go up to the little lodge area, and then you can just talk to the guy and you can have a look at each individual Pokemon's effort values. Once it says 252 in speed, you have done this part of the guide and you can move on. Okay then, so once you have finished checking your speed effort values on your 3 Pokemon, make sure to go back to Saffron City. Make sure to save just in case you disconnect, because now we are still have to EV train, but this time we are going to be doing special attacks. So what you want to do is talk to the guy in front of the machine and type in ISO_SP attack for special attack. Beat this guy another 14 times. I believe it's 14 times. You might want to try 15, but if once you think you've done it, make sure to go to the same guy in Elegant Valley and make sure to check that your special attack EVs are 252, and then you'll be done EV training and we can move on to the next step. Okay, now once you have done EV training, you're going to probably notice that your Pokemon are very low level, because the Pokemon you EV train on were level 2, so you didn't really get too many levels. So now we need to level up our Pokemon to level 100, and also while on this road to level 100, we will be able to evolve our Pokemon, so that'll be amazing. So then what you want to do is go back to Saffron City and talk to the guy in front of the machine and just type in ISO, and this is going to be the XP bot. Now, the best way to beat this guy is actually to bring a very high level Pokemon, preferably level 100, that is a fighting type, with close combat and a brick break. Now, the reason why is because all 6 of these Pokemon are level 100. They have no attacking moves, but they do have reflex and light screen, so I'd suggest a level 100 Lucario. Mine worked perfectly, mainly because they are weak to fighting, and it also breaks the screens. So what I usually do is the first one I battle, I brick break twice, and then the other 5 I'll just close combat and it should one hit it. And again, my Lucario is EV trained in attack, so maybe that's why. So you could just want to look into it, but pretty much just bring a Pokemon that can one hit all of these and just grind the levels to level 100 and it will be good. Anyway, on to the next step. Okay, now once you have done leveling up your Pokemon to level 100, we need to actually now get the right natures, because there is natures that these Pokemon kind of need just to make sure that you have the best chance of beating this boss. So on your Electrodes, you'll want a timid nature, and on your 2 Chandelures, which are the final evolution of Litwick, you will want a modest. The reason why is because you don't need attack on either of these. You want Electrode to have speed, so it can outspeed the Aegis, and you want modest on the other 2 Pokemon, so it can do the most amount of damage that it possibly can. So what you can do is you can use the 100k version to ensure that you get the right nature, which I use, which cost me 300,000 Pokédollars, or you can buy nature stones, save before you use them. You use them all. If you don't get the right nature that I said, rejoin the game and proceed that process. But once you've got them, you'll be good, and that is that for this step. So moving on to the next step. Okay, now once you've got your nature on your Pokemon, we need to get the right moves on the Pokemon. So then, Electrodes only needs Thunder Wave. Now we can buy Thunder Wave from the market in Cinnabar City, I believe. I think it is. If not, I believe it can learn it through the move relearner. So you just pretty much just want to get Thunder Wave, and that is pretty much the only move you need on Electrodes. Okay, once you have got Thunder Wave on Electrode, now you want to get Fire Blast for your Chandelures. Now again, you can buy Fire Blast from the guy in Cinnabar, Cinnabar, or is it Mount Cinnabar? Something like that. I think last part I called it Cinnabar City. Whoops. But you just want to teach both Chandelures Fire Blast. Overheat does work, but if you don't have Overheat as an option, Fire Blast is definitely a good enough option, and most people should already have it, especially if you buy the TMs, which I usually don't because I don't need them. But anyway, that is all for this part. Moving on to the next part. Okay, now we have done everything, and now it's time to battle Aegis. So let's do this. So then, what you want to do, talk to him, obviously, with these Pokemon in your party. You want to make sure Electrode is in the first party, because we need Electrode first. So then, Electrode is being thrown out. I'm trying to line this up correctly with the video, but all you want to do with Electrode is Thunder Wave, and then Electrode should get one-hitted. It might get paralyzed, just Thunder Wave again, and just make sure you get one-hitted. Okay, next, throw out a Chandelure, and just Fire Blast or Overheat, and hopefully Aegis will one-shot that as well. And now for the last Chandelure again, we are going to outspeed him because of Paralyze, and then we Fire Blast or Overheat again, and that is pretty much it. Now then, I'll quickly say why this strategy works, just in case you're wondering, because some people might be wondering why specifically Chandelure and Electrode. Now then, Electrode is needed. I believe Jolteon will be useful as well, but Jolteon is pretty difficult to get in the game because you're only going to get EV once unless you have a Game Pass. So the reason why I chose Electrode is because you can get it as many times as you want, and it takes minutes to get it in Lavender City. So then, once you got Electrode and you EV train in speed and give it a speed nature, it will have a higher speed than the Aegis, which I said at the beginning of the video was something like 380 something, maybe 390 something, I can't exactly remember. But Electrode has over 400 speed, which means Thunder Wave will allow us to paralyze it so our Chandelures can outspeed it then. So the reason why we chose Chandelure is because it has the most special attack of non-legendary Pokemon that is also a fire type. Flareon would have also been my go to for a physical type, but again, the issue is that you would have had to run Flare Blitz, which is okay, but again, it's the main problem with Eevee. You can't have a Jolteon and an Eevee without the game passes, so I decided to go with Chandelure. It's pretty easy to capture, so all you need is 2. Now, the reason why, again, Chandelure is a fire type, so it gets stab from the fire type moves, and Aegis is only weak to fire because it got a update, and I believe now it is Steel, Fairy, and has Levitate, so it's only weak to fire. So Chandelure is probably one of the best, if not the best, Pokemon to take it down that isn't a legendary Pokemon. So that is pretty much it. So, and because we have Paralyzed Aegis with Electrodes, the plan is to just hope that you one-shot our Pokemon so we can swap out and then just Fire Blast, which I said, it doesn't really matter. The reason why I said Fire Blast is because it's more accessible or easier to have people access it, just in case you catch a Liquid without Overheat. And plus Fire Blast, having it as a TM is a bit better than getting 2 random Pokemon, 2 random moves that you're probably not going to be using any ever again. So the reason why I told you to get Fire Blast in case you don't have Overheat is because of that reason. But Overheat works as well if you have it on your Chandelure. So pretty much that's the thing. So when Electro gets KO'd after you paralyze the Aegis, throw it to your Chandelure, Fire Blast it's going to do over half damage with Fire Blast. There is a small chance of accuracy, so we can in case you miss, all you have to do is just redo it. You'll get lucky. There's going to be some parts where you're going to get lucky, some you might get unlucky, but for me, I beat it 3 times in a row, so I'm pretty confident that this is going to work for a lot of people. So that's pretty much it. You don't have to IV train, which is a good thing about this. I didn't IV train any of these or max out my IVs for any of these Pokemon, just random, so that's pretty much it. The only reason why you would need to get perfect IVs on your Chandelures is just for Flamethrower. Now, if you don't want to buy Fire Blast and you don't have access to Overheat, Flamethrower actually doesn't kill Aegis the Aegis Mark II in 2 hits. It might only if you have if you have a Modest Nature, max EVs in Special Attack, and 31 IVs in Special Attack, and it still might not KO it. I haven't checked to see if it has, but I would strongly recommend just not using that. Overheat's probably the better move if you want, although the reason why I didn't want to tell people to go for Overheat instead of Fire Blast is because Fire Blast does have the chance to miss, but Overheat, once you use it first, and if Aegis doesn't kill you, you can't really attack it again because your special attack is going to drop 2 stages and it's going to do less damage, meaning it has an extra chance to repair itself, which is what you don't want. If it repairs itself and gets rid of the Thunder Wave, you're probably going to have to restart the battle and just hope that you get lucky that it doesn't repair. So this isn't 100% guaranteed to win, but it is very high. Like I said, I battled it 3 times in a row, won 3 times in a row with this same strategy, so it works. So that's pretty much it. But once you've attacked with Fire Blast on your first Chandelure, it should one-hit it, or the Aegis should one-hit your Chandelure. If you're your second Chandelure, Fire Blast it, you win the game, and you beat Aegis. So, and hopefully this guide has helped you. If it has, make sure to leave a comment, tell me that it did, and how many times you're going to beat it. Unfortunately, as of right now I'm recording, there's a glitch, so after you beat Aegis once, the future battles, the second, the third, and so on, battles aren't going to give you any Pokédollars, which will fix this soon. I'm hoping. I'm going to be nagging him to try and fix it, but again, right now I believe he's working on a held item feature for Project Pokemon, so it might take a little bit, but hopefully this guide help you. So, and I guess that's it, so I'll see you guys next time.